Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Nico. Today I'm bringing you some patch notes thoughts, and I'm playing Cabrakan because Cabrakan isn't shit anymore! Which I'm actually kind of happy about, because Cabrakan was always a cool looking dude. He sounds awesome and badass and stuff, but he was never really good. But now he's actually, you know, playable. So, first things first on the patch notes is Sylvanas. If you want to know my thoughts on Sylvanas, you can watch that video. There are new skins! Pajama Party Kumbhakarna, Infinity Wave Hubwa, Sugar and Spice Hell, and Permafrost Sylvanas. Then there are new voice packs. Pajama Party Kumbhakarna, Infinity Wave Hubwa, Heavy Metal Thor, and Sylvanas. And then they updated a bunch of voice packs, and they put in some player icons, which I don't care about any of these countries because I'm American and that's how we roll. It's just me playing off a stereotype. I just don't feel like going over all that stuff. Though, the gay pride flag one is pretty cool. People got emotes. There's some updated god cards. Fuck you. Get over here, all of you. Then updated ground cards. Oh man, they're all still really not dead. Stop hitting me, you fuckface. I hate Raw. Oh. Fuck you! Get out of here. That's right. You got no health. New matchmaking is coming soon, where there won't be queues anymore. Well, not queues, but time queues, and it's just, hey, you queue for a match. At some point, you will get in a match that's near, like, everybody's near your level. And by near your level, I mean, like, matchmaking rating level, not, like, level 30 level. And unfortunately, for some reason, you can't like, not accept a match. That was the only weird thing I saw about that, is that not accepting a match makes it to where you get Deserter, which is stupid in my opinion, because League has non-time queues where if you don't accept the match, you get no penalty. It just makes it so everybody has to queue again, and I feel like that's the way it should be, not that if you don't accept, you get Deserter status. That's the one thing out of that I'm like, that's... Like, I'm excited for non-timed queues, but the fact that if, you know... If I don't accept, I'm gonna get fucking Deserter. Like, that's not cool. Damn you and your speed of light, you fucking shitty-ass Raw. So, that sucks about that, because that makes really no sense. Hopefully they actually change that before that new system is put in, because it's not going to be put in for a while, in all honesty. Not this next. League qualifying matches, instead of just being placed in Bronze 5, you're put in qualifying matches, which is good. A bunch of miscellaneous fixes and a bunch of gameplay, like general gameplay fixes. Like, one of the things that was weird that I saw in the general gameplay is that fixed an issue with attack speed debuffs, items, and abilities affecting objectives like Fire Giant and Gold Fury. I thought that was intended because I mean, I just didn't notice that it wasn't intended, because I don't think anybody was like, oh, this is obviously a thing you shouldn't be able to do. So, it's not, apparently, and now you can't do it anymore. Also, I'm gonna lose all this gold. Poor me. He really just did this. You wanna go? You wanna fucking go? Fuck you. Yeah, that's right. What are you gonna do now, bitch? Nothing. You're gonna die. Ha! Cabrakan OP. But yeah, so you can no longer debuff the attack speed of Fire Giant and Gold Fury. So, if you like doing that, you can't do it anymore with Witchblade or Neat's, what's it called? Unravel. And then like Odin's Cage, and I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head that debuffs with abilities, but no more Witchblade debuffing it, and no more Midgardian Mail debuffing the attack speed of Fire Giant and Gold Fury. Basic attack speed can now never be reduced to less than 0.4 through attack speed debuffs, which isn't a thing that affected most gods. Apparently, it could it could happen on characters like Cabrakan, though, because of, like, Guardians, especially early on, don't have high attack speed scaling, and, like, they start with really low attack speed, so you could get a Guardian below that, but now you can't, thankfully, because to not be able to barely attack twice a second is kind of really shit. If only I had my 3 up in time, I would have killed him for sure. Alright, so that's all that I want to talk about that. There's supposed to be new AI for co-op and practice, but as you can see, Robot doesn't seem to be any different. There's new item tree. Instead of Odysseus bow being in the, what's it called? Attack speed tree in the physical, like, attack items, it's in its own short bow tree. Short bow is a new item that costs 600 gold, does 15% attack speed, and that's all it does. It's 600 gold and 15% attack speed. Whippy. Then the second tier is charge bow, 25% attack speed, and it gets the passive of Odysseus bow only to a lessened extent. Every basic attack has a 25% chance to trigger chain lightning, damaging the target up to 4 nearby enemies for 20 physical damage. This cannot trigger more than once every second. Costs 1350. So you can start with this new bow, which is good because Odysseus bow really is a starter item and nothing more. I really hate the fact that that just happened. Excuse me? Excuse me, Raw. I don't know what the fuck you were doing, but okay, buddy. But yeah, so now you can start with charge bow, and like Chibalanke and Cupid have an option to start with that and clear a little bit better. Get those guys out of here. And then Odysseus bow has just been moved to the short bow tree, and it's just shitty now. Like, Odysseus bow is kind of really not great, because the only difference between charge bow and Odysseus bow is that you get, I think, 15% more attack speed, and the passive scales with the damage you have now. So I don't know, like, it seems like an item that you would build, like charge bow, you build as a starter item, and then way down the line you'd be like, oh, okay, I can upgrade charge bow and Odysseus bow because I have all of my crit and stuff now. So that's a thing. At least that's what I'm theory crafting in my head, how that would work. New item, Hunter's Bow. So this is a tier 2 item that builds off of the short bow. 25% attack speed, cost 1,000, and that's it. And then there's a new item in this short bow tier tree called Ichaival. It's Ichaival. You try to pronounce it. 30% attack speed, and the passive is every successful basic attack increases your physical power by 10 and decreases the enemy physical power by 10 for a max of 3 stacks. So you can get 30 physical power and decrease the enemy's physical power by 30. Really good item early on to box your like enemy hunter, but after that, Executioner will scale better late game just because it applies shred and you can rip through tankier targets better. So I'm wondering how that's gonna work out. I don't see anybody picking it up, but I could be completely wrong, and I don't play Hunter, so I probably am really wrong. Because, to be honest, Hunter's my least favorite role in Smite. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm completely off track and people end up buying the shit out of Ichaival. I don't know. It's a fucking strange ass name. And then Heavy Hammer got nerfed finally. Cost increased from 1,100 to 1,350. So you can no longer buy Heavy Hammer and a active item, which is kind of what made it OP, is that it was a really fucking good starter item that you could build Hand of the Gods 1 or something with. So physical supports were able to buy Heavy Hammer and Hand, or jungle, or, well, really the only jungler that could buy Heavy Hammer and Hand was Thanatos, but it made Thanatos like really fucking stupid. Even I'm willing to admit that, because it's like you invade at level 2 on the enemy jungler and you're just like in their face, and if they don't have a jump or anything, they literally can't get away from you. Sucks to be you. Oh yeah, I need to let my minions out. But yeah, so I'm cool with Heavy Hammer being nerfed. I thought it needed nerfed a long time ago, so I'm glad that it actually is being nerfed. And Heavy Hammer Thanatos is still just fucking stupid when you think about it. And it still works in Siege, so there you go. Because you start with 2,000 gold instead of 1,500, so yay! Heavy Hammer starts in Siege games, still the thing. Let's kill all these mins. That burst, though. Oh, I don't have enough damages. If only my 3 was off cooldown. And then they updated the item icons for the Iron Tree, like Iron Mail Tree, I think that's what it is. So, Iron Mail, Steel Mail, Sovereignty, Mystical Mail. Mystical Mail looks pretty basic. Hide in the Nemean Lion, and Midgardian Mail. I like the fact that Hide in the Nemean Lion looks exactly like Hercules' armor because he's wearing the Nemean Lion on his shoulder. Like, that is the Nemean Lion. Right? Because that was one of his trials, is that he had to kill it. So yeah. So now to the god balance changes. Whoops. Arachne. No nerfs on Arachne. Adjusted web FX for Nightcrawler ability on Black Widow skin. And what else? Fixed her basic attack stats to show her full damage instead of half damage. I noticed this when I was playing her, but I noticed that it wasn't actually like correct in displaying the right damage. Like, it said half damage, but you were still doing the full damage, so it didn't really bother me. But it's cool to see that that was updated. Also, I'm gonna go back to buy something. Cabrakan. Now, this is the reason why I'm playing him, and you probably have noticed it. Seismic Crush. Cabrakan now increases his attack speed by 70% for his next basic attack during this ability. So, apparently that's the reason why this ability sucked so much balls before, is that when you were to go, like, try and use it, is like, it would make your attack speed slow. Like, the game saw it as a slower attack instead of just like a basic attack. So to fix that, they just increased the amount, like, his attack speed for that one ability, which is good because now you can get it off without somebody running away from you. So yay, Cabrakan can finally use his one and not just be like, oh man, I really wish I could use this one ability that has a stun on it and makes me do damage. That would be nice. So now he can. Also, I don't think I'd actually build Rada Tahuti on Cabrakan. I just want to do it to see how much more damage I can do. In fact, I would probably build like something along the lines of either Witchblade or Winged Blade here. Probably Winged Blade just because it gives more health and it helps with the Ethereal Staff, as well as giving me movement speed, attack speed, and cooldown reduction. But yeah, so Cabrakan, Seismic Crush is an actual ability that you can use, and like, instead of just being like, they keep running away and I can never hit this ability, you can actually hit it. And like, people don't just walk away from you when you start to try to use his one, and then it's just like, oh, well, I missed, fuck it. Oh man, the slow persisted even after I used my one. Okay, just making sure they can get through. And then I will kill these minions. Damn it. There we go. So, Refraction Shield. Increased stun duration from 1 to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 seconds. Which is good because having 2 1-second stuns while his 3 did diminishing, like, his 3 applies diminishing returns but isn't affected by it. So if you were to use his 3 and then his 2 and then his 1, you would actually end up stunning someone for like literally no time at all. So it's actually better to use your 1 and 2 before you use the 3 ever. So just so you guys know. And reduced recovery time from 0.8 to 0.2 seconds. And then Tectonic Shift, reduced recovery time from 0.5 to 0.2 seconds. So he just feels better, basically, for that. Getting something on the, well, YouTube's. As you can see, Cabrakan's burst is kind of high now. Because you can combo his abilities together pretty effectively. Fenrir, General, new ability icons. Yay. Freya, Fixed weapon trails overlapping, and her attack speed was too high. Again. Fixed an issue with her body persisting after death. No more Freyas that are just hanging out. Guan Yu, General, added a list of healers for purposes of assault section. Good, because ever since they made his heal stronger but didn't provide protections, it was really bullshit to go up against the Guan Yu and fucking assault, and then they would have like Guan Yu Aphrodite, and you're just like, really? This is fucking stupid. We lost. Like, it was just not fun to play against. Now hit me again. I said, hit me again, fucker. But he didn't. Isis, General, fixed Scarlet Coven skin T-posing in the lobby. Kali, General, fixed her basic attack animations cutting off when at high attack speed. I noticed that, but I didn't really care back when I was like playing Kali a lot. Marked for death. Kali's mark now is an indicator next to their health bar that only Kali can see. This is for Kali to more quickly identify our target. Kali's mark is now revealed to her teammates when the mark is under 25% health. This appears a unique special effect. And by unique special effect, it's the same kind of deal as Thanatos' like mark for death kind of thing, where when Thanatos is up in the air and you know it, there's a bracket with a skull on it. Now with Kali, it's a bracket with some writing, I want to say, on it. I don't know exactly what the sign, like the mark says, like, because it's not, well, English, duh. So that's good. So Kali can more readily identify her target. Kukulkan, General, corrected several typos in his lore. Yay. Whirlwind. Actually a pretty significant nerf here. Reduce the duration of damage once you leave the whirlwind from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. So that's 2 more ticks that you don't take, which is good because at late game, you would, like, if you got clipped by the tornado and you were an assassin and you didn't have any magical defense, which you probably didn't other than maybe a Magi's Blessing, you were pretty much fucked and you couldn't fight anymore. Like, you either died or you just couldn't go back. Like, you have to back. Like, it's like, it just sucked really bad to, like, know that it's like, oh, he barely hit me with that, but I still have to go back. So that's good for late game. Early game, it doesn't affect like his clear as much because what you do to make sure the tornadoes kill the minions is that you line the minions up. Like, you make sure the minions meet and then you put the tornado on them as they're just standing there. So it doesn't affect his clear as badly, like, or really at all. So thankfully, he's still a very, very efficient lane, like, minion killer. No thanks, I don't like being blind, it's not fun. So there's that. But late game, his damage isn't as ridiculous with the Whirlwind. Mercury nerf. Made you look. Radius increase per rank reduced from 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5 to 7.5, 9, 10.5, 12, 13.5. So, Mercury finally getting hit with the nerf bat, which is good because he was kind of ridiculous. And this is the kind of nerf I wanted to see, is that Made You Look wasn't as ridiculous, because Mercury is a hard carry, and his whole deal is, I get the late game, and then I punch you in the face, and you die. But with Made You Look being as easy as like it was to hit, it was, I can punch you in the face and make you die, or I can be outside of auto attack range and crit you and take off half your health for free. Which, in my opinion, isn't fair. Because I feel like a standard, like, not a standard, but a melee, melee physical god to do, just to be able to take off more, like, almost half of someone's health from afar at that stage of the game is kind of ridiculous. So, I'm glad they reduced the range and reduced the radius of Made You Look, because now Mercury has to get in people's faces more, and his laning potential is lessened because of this. Because he can no longer hit an entire group of minions. He can only hit either the front or the back. He can't hit both the front and the back and kill them all with Golden Bow proc. Though Golden Bow still probably a really good pickup on just Mercury because it works well with his passive. Also, the server said it went down, so we're not going to be able to look. Oh, we are. I thought it said it went down. Did a poop ton of... Oh, player names. Yay. But yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't have bought Ratatouille, but it seemed to work out pretty well, in all honesty. Can I get back on so I can show off the Mercury stuff? Nope. It looks like the PTS went down. But before I go, Made You Look is nerfed, which is good, but, I mean, Mercury's 70% attack speed on his 2 is still kind of really high, but again, so is Arachne's. Though, you could argue Arachne's isn't as potent because after 3 attacks, she stuns somebody and she loses her attack speed steroid, whereas Mercury can just punch you in the fucking face for 70% more attack speed until you're dead. So, you know, who knows? Odin had some bug fixes. He did not get nerfed. Poseidon, apparently his legendary skin basic attacks were playing on hit, like they played that they were hitting things when they weren't. Ra got a new meter for his passive, and Solar Blessing, the heal, got more distinctive visual effects to be so you can make sure it's friendly or enemies, especially if the alien wear skin. Serket, Deathbane was fixed, so now it hits all 3 times instead of just twice or once sometimes. And she got a little bit of a nerf on her ambush, which is the ability where she stealths and jumps. Cooldown increased from 15 to 17 seconds, which is good because she seemed to be really hard to catch. She jumped around and was able to get out of a lot of situations really easily. Sobek, Blessing of the Nile, new passive meter, and this ability now builds stacks on successful hits from basic attacks and abilities. Abilities will only grant 1 stack even if multiple targets are hit. That's really good for Sobek because he's not really an auto attacker. So now when he uses his abilities on enemies, he gets his passive physical and magical protections on him, which is a pretty decent buff to him because now he gets those protections even though he's using abilities instead of auto attacking you. So, yay. Sun Wukong fixed an effect. Xbalanque, Dead of Night, passive meter added. Zeus, General, fixed some T-posing issues with his almighty skin. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the nerfs and the buffs that they put out. Cabrakan is an actual usable character now. I know Lassus was playing him in the jungle before these buffs were coming out, so he's probably really excited to actually like play Cabrakan and not like Seismic Crush actually is an ability that you can use now. Like, I'm pretty sure he's excited because he likes Cabrakan, so that's cool. I feel like this Mercury nerf was a good start. I don't know if it's going to be enough to bring him out of competitive play and just everybody off of everybody's minds because of his maximum velocity and how much attack speed he gets. But it is a good start to get him out of the duo and solo lanes because he won't be able to clear the entire minion waves with Made You Look and Golden Bow anymore. And then Odin, we'll have to see if he needs to be nerfed or not. I'm thinking like his early game damage is absurd, but if you can see him jumping and you can just like move forward, like, or walk away, like if you can see him jumping in the air and just move, then you won't get hit by it. And then Odin's jumped and now he's just standing there and he doesn't have his shield anymore either. You could probably kill him pretty easily, but I understand that sometimes like your positioning and your awareness isn't the best, and then he jumps on you and takes off half your health. So we'll see how Odin pans out, but I feel like he's going to be very hit or miss. I feel like I've played Odin a couple times, and it's either sometimes I just dominate people and it's just like they surrender because they don't want to deal with it anymore, and then sometimes it's like, yeah, I took off half your health in the beginning, but now it's late game, and if I try to do that same thing, I no longer have a jump or my shield, and now I'm gonna die. So sometimes, like, Odin feels kind of like a character that's like, oh, now it's late game and I built damage and I want to jump on you, but if I jump on you and miss, then I'm fucked. And if I jump on you and hit you, I could still be fucked because it doesn't do nearly as much damage late game. So we'll see how Odin goes. And then Arachne, I don't know. That one game I played of her didn't feel that great, but maybe that was just because it was one game and I really haven't played any other Conquest games with her. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the patch notes. I feel like these are pretty good buffs and nerfs all around. Really glad that Heavy Hammer was a cost increased. Like they nerfed that. But yeah, I like everything. I think it's cool. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you later. Peace.